true your Spanish may be better than mine, but that's okay.
I'm the communications director for Mike Bloomberg for Texas.
Great. So, may I ask you, first question is, does money equal speech?
What?
Does money equal speech?
Oh, no.
And what is the definition to you of an oligarch?
An oligarch is somebody like Mr. Putin or Mr. Trump.
What defines that?
That they pool their resources for the purpose not of spreading good, but for their own self-interest at the sake of everyone else.
What do you say to people who say folks like Mr. Bloomberg or Tom Steyer that they quote-unquote bought into the election?
I disagree. I think that there is a need to take back this country and not have Donald Trump in the White House. They are, self-funding themselves. They're not beholden to special interests. They're doing this for their love of country and to take back the White House.
One person equals one vote?
Absolutely.
President Trump, before or after or during, were to buy a news network, would that be good for democracy or bad for democracy?
That's a really interesting question. I think Mr. Trump doing it would not be good for democracy because, as has been widely reported, he lies on average, 20 times a day.
So a news network owned by Trump would be inherently biased?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you agree with Citizens United?
That's a hard question. I don't think
Is that a hard question?
Yeah, because I don't know. Because it's so different, though. Like, Citizens United is about, secret money and PACs.
Right.
And he's just independently governed.
I didn't ask about Mr. Bloomberg. I'm just asking, in general.
Oh, I thought you meant...
No. I'm asking about Citizens United and does money equal speech in the conversation?
I see. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so we'll start again.
Okay, and does money equal speech?
Yes.
Can you give me a quick version of Can't Buy Me Love?
Oh, no, I'm not going to sing.
No. Do you know the words, though?
Yeah, Can't Buy Me Love. Do. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. So what is the definition of corruption?
Corruption means, for me, especially people that think that they can do everything that they want on the way they want it without, respecting rules and respecting people and go over the head. And for me, it's Donald Trump.
Yeah. So do you think the politician would keep them in mind when they're making policy?
And they won't think, they need to do a big favor for them. And it's not right.
Right. Elizabeth Warren got money from Raytheon. You know Raytheon? And then she voted with Donald Trump for war spending. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Do you know the definition of an oligarch?
No, sir.
As a successful businessman with a lot of political influence. By definition, does that sound like Mr. Bloomberg?
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like a lot of politics. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think that it would be inherently biased for a political person to own a news network?
Yeah, I think we'll be there.
Do you believe that money equals speech?
Well, not really. I think, if you have somebody that believes on you, you have everything. If you have the population believe on whatever you're saying, that's what's going to give you the power. And buy me love. That's it.
If Donald Trump were to buy a news network, would that be good or bad for democracy?
It is the worst thing ever. We know that. Freedom of speech is like right now, like talking to you. I'm speaking out of my heart. I give you the opportunity because you're asking me questions, and this is what speech is all about. Let me talk and just let you know what my thoughts are. We cannot allow anybody that has a lot of money to have the power of the press. We have 2,500 billionaires that own enough wealth to equivalent 4.6 billion people on the planet. That's your definition of an oligarchy. We all know that well, you have the money and you can win elections. I mean, that's a reality.
Is that democratic?
It's not democratic.
Are you going to go see Rage Against the Machine?
I hope that I can go see Rage Against the Machine.
Cool, me too.
All right.
Cheers. Do you agree with that money equals speech or no?
No.
Okay, and why is it?
Well, because the money isn't the answer to everything. I guess money influences people, and like everybody says, money talks. You know.
Do you believe in equal representation? In other words, one person, one vote?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like we have oligarchs in this country?
Yes, we do.
Do you know the song Can't Buy Me Love? You're okay, louder so I can hear you.
Can't buy me love, money can't buy me love. That song?
Yeah, that one. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name's Ray Mancera.
Okay, and
I'm a member of the El Paso Democratic Party. In fact, I was just got inducted Saturday to the Hall of Fame.
oh, fantastic! Congratulations. So my first question is, what are your feelings about Citizens United?
My feelings about what?
Citizens United.
Citizens United, that's the most horrible decision that the Supreme Court ever made. Who would ever thought that a corporation would be a person? There's no such thing. And I sincerely hope that someday in the future, in the near future, we're going to be able to reverse that and bring back the accountability, the transparency to somebody who gives a contribution. I don't care if they want to give $1 or $1 million. Tell me who you are so that I know who's behind that candidate. I've always been one of those people that I would love to take money out of the politics. It's unfair, but we would have to fund it in a private way. In other words, if you run for office, you're going to be given, as an example, if you run for state senator, you're going to be given a budget of $100,000 or $500,000. But in exchange, you cannot accept any money from any private person, corporation, and the people are the ones that are giving you that money to bring your message forward. That, to me, is the most fair way to ensure that bad money, corrupt money does not infiltrate our system of government. Nowadays, I think Bernie showed us, and certainly Beto, that $3, $5, $10 make a difference, because it is the quantity of people that matter. And what that tells me is that means votes. Because when somebody gives you $3, they will vote for you. Can't buy me love.
Citizens United. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Let me brief myself on it.
Okay. What's your opinion about Citizens United?
My opinion on Citizens United is that I'm very much against it. I don't think that there should be a $sign or any type of price put on specifically this type of issue.
Okay. Do you believe that money equals speech?
No.
So do you believe in one person, one vote?
One person, one vote. Well, here in the U.S., yes, definitely. One person, one vote is what is important, and all votes count. So I think that's the most important issue at hand, is that everybody go out and vote.
Might Bloomberg be considered an oligarch?
No, I don't believe that should be his definition. He is very much a one-of-a-kind person, and he is down to earth.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, may I ask you this?
No, perhaps. It was your fiance who asked me to...
I'm a grad student with UTEP, so I'm doing a project for school.
I understand that, but she has to get clearance if there's going to be...
Sorry.
Okay. What do you think, if Donald Trump were to buy a news network, would that be good or bad for democracy?
It would be bad for democracy. We already have too much concentration of power and influence and wealth in this country. We have too few holding too many channels for communication, whether it is online or on TV. So further consolidation and concentration is not good for democracy.
What's the definition to you of an oligarch?
Oligarch is someone who is able to exploit their position of power or influence to consolidate the wealth of a country and direct that country in terms of its policy and its future at the expense of everyone else in the country. Tom Steyer, very clearly, Mayor Bloomberg, have been able to purchase entry into the race for the presidency. That's just a fact. So far, I see them using their wealth for good. I haven't seen them, for example, attacking other candidates for the nomination. I've seen them sharing the truth with the American public about the consequence of Donald Trump, and so I'm encouraged so far by the way that they've used that wealth. But undoubtedly, they have purchased their place in this nominating process.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chris.
What is the definition of corruption to you?
The definition of corruption?
Yes, ma'am.
Donald Trump.
If Donald Trump were to, before he was elected or after he was elected or during, and if Fox News didn't exist, if he bought a television news station, would that be good for democracy or bad for democracy?
It depends.
Why is that?
Well, I think that because he's a Republican.
Right, but what if? But you know, it has to be fair on both sides. So is that good for democracy overall or bad for democracy?
I think it's bad.
Yeah. What is the definition of an oligarch to you?
I'm not sure I have a good definition of that. A businessman, a lot of money, a lot of power.
Yeah. If Donald Trump were to buy a news network, would that be good or bad for America?
Definitely bad.
And why is that?
He would have sole control of the content that's in the media would present.
Do you think money is speech?
Not necessarily, no sir.
Okay. Can you explain?
Money facilitates the ability to engage in speech, but it shouldn't be the end all.
Do you believe in equal representation, one person, one vote?
Yes, I do.
What do you think of, say, Tom Steyer's people accusing Tom Steyer of buying into the election?
I think if a gentleman has the means, he should want to participate in the democratic process. If that's him using his resources, should feel free to do so.
Would that then conflict with the definition of money not equaling speech?
It could.
Do you know of Mike Bloomberg's controversy in New York with the soda and all that?
Just that he banned sodas as a means to, I guess, help general population, their health status, whatnot.
Would you consider that, by definition, an authoritarian policy?
I can see how it could be considered that way, yes.
And thank you for those kind words, Representative Blanco. And you have given them exactly the ways I wrote them. So.